Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Mad Capper, and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends, and we just got a whole shit ton of news dropped on our heads here at the Content Creator Program this morning. I don't do morning videos because I have a day job, but so we're here a little bit late, but better late than never. And you can tell I'm on the Champion Index. You best be knowing what we'll be talking about now. I'm pretty sure you can guess. We had content drop on the content creator notification. There are epics to be buffed, and I got thoughts about that. But first, let's just quickly go over the other news here. First and foremost, we have a 10-time event starting on Friday, May 6th, featuring Sir Nicholas and Warcaster and Demetha from Void Shards, and Roshkard the Tower, Martyr, Underpriest Brogni, Geomancer Venomage from Ancients and or Sacred Shards. A pretty decent bunch. I would argue that none of those champions, you will not be upset with any of those, are all great champions. I would say that the highlight reel would probably come from Demetha, Geo, and Brogni. Sir Nick is kind of fallen a little bit out of favor because of how you need to build them out for certain things. Made easier, of course, by AI and being able to lock out skills and that sort of thing makes him a lot easier. But I think people moved away from using him in a lot of like unkillable comps and stuff. He's still a top. He's a heavy carry. He's a hard carry. If that's your first legendary Void legendary, I mean, my free to play now would be a different team with him on it. It would be a different game. I think he just he's lost some love over the years. Same with Martyr, oddly enough, and you could argue Roshkard the Tower. The problem with them is that they're hard to really make use of, other than mid game / 3v3 arena. I think all of those champions are good there. They are usable in clan boss. All those champions. This is a clan. This is I guess essentially a clan boss pulling, because Underpriest Brogni is the linchpin or a linchpin in the different affinity comps out there. Also, he's probably the best utility champion in the game, in my opinion. Though I would argue that Martyr might be the best utility champion in the game, and just everyone forgets it because she hits like a truck. She's Doom Tower extraordinaire, especially on this rotation with the I don't remember the one that's not the Griffin new boss. So yeah, I mean 10 times good. You know how I feel about 10 times? They're shit. More so for Ancients and Sacreds than, of course, Void Shards, because there's just so many champions that the percentages, when you're not on a 2 times and getting the 10 times, the chance of you getting that champion on a 2 times is almost identical. It's fractions of a percent, so whatever. But hey, if you want to pull, you're close to pity. You want to gamble roll the dice, and maybe you get one of those champions. Sure, do it. Just don't come crying to me when you spent 100 shards and got sweet FL. Okay, what else do we have? We've got a new fusion. It says a new champion fragment event. I thought somewhere read that it was a fusion. So, okay, but it says it's a fragment, and it's Bevolved the Thorn. Because why not? I'm tired of fragment. I'm tired of fusions. I'm tired of fragments fusions. I keep saying I'm gonna skip them, but I just burned my normal. Like, I haven't spent anything to do any of these, the last 2 fusions, so I'll probably do it so long as it doesn't open the pocketbook. The second I need extra energy or extra shards or anything, I'm out, because I don't. Hey, he looks cool, he looks good, but I don't need help in Sacred Order, and he's not a champion that's gonna upend my my champion, my tier list, or my best champions, right? So you can watch Chosen's video on that. He'll probably have a pretty good breakdown of his abilities. And then the reason why you're here, the reason why I'm on this page, is we're gonna do a first reaction of the new. I can see them. I haven't really jumped into them. I took a brief look at who the champions were, but we're getting epic rebalances of Necro Hunter, Calia, Frostbringer, and Woadpainted. Lalo, what's going to go? Who's going to be your most hated epic? Who's going to be? What did they do? They did this because of you. That's the influence you have. They like you more than me, as they should. Okay, Necro Hunter. Let's talk about this. Let's see. Let's jump right in. Necro Hunter, of course, an epic. I actually have him already built. I just haven't gotten around to actually making the video, so I apologize. I think maybe he'll be the first one I do once this is up and going, because he's the only one on the list I don't have a video of. So I think I'll have to do maybe a comparison video of the other 3, but I have to do a video for Necro Hunter on the I Built Him, so you don't have to. So Necro Hunter. So here's the deal. We'll talk about it. So we got attacks all enemies one time if this attack is critical. Attacks one enemy, attacks all enemies. Oh, that's Gravestorm. Wow, I was having a moment. Okay, attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of attacking. So they just took away the stupid RNG, which is good. Anytime you delete RNG. So this attacks all enemies if it's a critical hit, which you're going to make him critical anyway because he's a nuker. So that's good. I like seeing that. And his A3 cooldown decreased from 5 to 4. And then 3 booked. So that's good. Place the perfect veil on this champion for 2 turns if this attack is critical. So there's synergy on the attack is critical, which I like. Because you already have it here, so why not have it here? That's a good call out. That's actually a really good call out by Plarium. I have said this repeatedly. If you're gonna make it critical for all or none. They still, when they fixed Ethos, they still didn't do that because they have the always critical on his A3 but not his A2. So the A3 is a useless skill because you're gonna make him critical anyway. Whack-a-mole was something for 2019. Nobody should be building that today because Ethos is too strong in every other in PvE to have only one ability critting. Anyway, I gotta just digress. So good, thank you on that. Is it enough on this champion? We'll see. Oh, they also gave him an aura, crit rate in all battles. Crit rate's a kind of a throwaway stat. It will probably be nice if you have Faction Wars team that's not used elsewhere. You can lower their crit rate to boost their other stats. What I don't like about him is his health is 12.5, which makes him really, really fragile, especially in a Faction Wars that's very, very difficult. Keeping people alive in Knight's Rev is a nightmare, and it's the one argument against the video I made yesterday about Burgoth being the worst. The one saving grace of Burgoth is that any heals are good heals, because this is such a hard Faction Wars 21. You got the Valkyrie waves, and you got the boss. I think the boss is he the swap? He's the steel buffs and swap. Oh god, it's a nightmare to deal with. The best champions in Night Rev among epics are the ones you can't use, like Miscreated Monster, because you're too scared about unless you all have high resistance of losing the ally protect, those sort of things. So yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a good change on him. Apparently he's got good multipliers, so it'll be interesting to see if this makes any difference. I'll probably build him out for 81% crit. And it is nice that crit rate does kind of lay into the changes they made to this one anyway. The extra hit being critical and this one already being critical on a 3-turn cooldown. Yeah, I think it's good. I don't know if it's enough to make him meta or viable, but definitely for Faction Wars, you now have another option for damage. Next up, Calia, and I think Calia is the same problem, and but we'll take a closer look at it here. Calia, of course, a barbarian. She's Atur's lover. She's got a nice little. They actually have a nice little synergy, but he's not. Problem is, he's not good enough. I remember Calia when I made it. I believe I made it again because I felt I gave her an unfair shake, and I was right. The second time I made the video on her, made one before the I Built Them series, and then I made her for the I Built Them series, and kind of took in and re-stepped into how to build her. And she's a viable option in Faction Wars. Does this make a difference for her? So first off, I never had a problem with her damage. I think for an epic, she did very good damage. So maybe with this damage increase, she's going to be like Magnar level damage. Like, I don't know what damage increase. All 3 of her skills are getting damage increase. So I don't know what that means. It could be 0.01 modifier. It could be a 1 modifier. She could hit crazy numbers now, or meh. So we'll find out. So her A1, that's the only thing that's happening, of course, which places HP burn, 30% chance for 2 turns. Her A2 here, her A2 has a 50% chance to heal. It's going to have a 100% chance for that heal reduction. Don't care. Heal reduction, an AoE heal reduction spell is so situationally, it really doesn't matter. There's so many champions that have it. Most of the time, the heal reduction needed as a mechanic, like on Fire Knight and Spirit Affinity Potion Dungeon, until you can one-shot her, or one-round shot her, you know what I mean, is kind of irrelevant. So to have an AoE, I'm trying to think, is this something that could work in some weird sort of way on Hydra? I don't think there's a Hydra boss that heals. I don't know if this is, it's irrelevant to me. So damage increase though. So you can tell me if you think the heal reduction AoE is going to be important. I think it's garbage. Attacks 3 times at random. I hate that, but still going to do it. But now it's getting each hit. So they're taking away the 60%. So it's going to be each hit puts an HP burn. Yeah, it's going to be good. That's going to be good in limited enemy. So Hydra, maybe. I think HP burn's really good in Hydra. She could be potentially a Hydra champion. Here's the problem, and we'll talk. Is there anything else going on with her? No. So here's the problem with this. Her problem isn't her damage. It never was her damage, in my opinion. By the way, she also has an ally attack. So she's got, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she's got the highest base attack among epics. I feel like there's no one over 1600 in epics. There are a few, Trenda and Ethos, for example. There's a few that are above. I think Bistifus has like 17. But 1597 feels like the highest epic. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't recall anyone higher. So hopefully the damage is enough to make up for the fact that she is a toothpick. She's a strong wind knocks her down. She's got abs for days. I don't know why her core is so weak. Abs for days. Clearly not working on her balance and her hip rotations. So she needs to work on that. She needs to get Joe Rogan needs to give her some training. That's or maybe Dave Chappelle. Do you see him take that hit? Anyway, so yeah, okay, whatever. Next up, Frostbringer. She still doesn't bring the frost, so I don't even know why we're talking about this. It pissed me off. Change her name. Petition to change her name. Okay. They're doubling again. The heal reduction 2 times at random. Oof. Now it's a 30% bookable to 50. Who cares? Who cares? It's heal reduction. I mean, situation. This is a little bit different because this is a champion I bring up against Spirit Affinity Potion Dungeon in the early mid game. If you pulled Frost, she'd be actually really good in that. She's really good synergy for the team. She's got increased speed, increased attack. She's got decreased defense, and that's getting a major buff. So we'll talk about it. She's also got this huge defense aura. So she's really good in the Spirit Affinity Dungeon. This just makes her better, because there's a better chance of that dropping. But this, you don't build teams for Spirit Affinity. You use champions to get through Spirit Potion Dungeon, right? So I'm a little bit whatever. This though, as I said, it's a 60% now. They're changing to 75% of placing a decreased defense for 2 turns. They dropped this stupid conditional if the target has a heal reduction debuff, which is what I absolutely lambasted them on when I did Frostbringer's video. Getting rid of that heal reduction, decreased defense. I will tell you something. We have another candidate. Now, I did a video. I believe I did a video. Yeah, I did. For sure I did. Using Frostbringer. Maybe I didn't do the video because I was going to, if I didn't, I was going to do a video using Frostbringer in Clan Boss because she has an increased speed. Now, it's even more so, except for, again, the stupid heal reduction. Just get rid of it, please. Stupid. Oh, I'm angry. If you can take the fact that you put that thing on there, it's a waste. You've got this decreased defense now at 100% when booked on a 3-turn cooldown. You have this on a 4-turn cooldown. It's got an increased attack and increased speed. Very good champion early game. That aura is a monster. Plus, one of the little talked about facts, she's got 20k HP. Shield set champion. Hard to kill. Just good overall. Technically, I guess you could match her more with this later, but you could match her with Woadpainted. Get that reflect damage with high HP. I don't know. Speed of 110. Yeah, solid champion. Solid champion. Good A2 change. It's going to be 75 bookable to 100. I don't know if I finished that. It's going to be 75 bookable to 100. 4 and 5 will have the 10 and 15 on it like they usually do. So you're going to get a 100% chance to land that decreased defense. Good overall skill. I wish this was a weaken. I wish this was anything else. Decreased attack. Turn meter. Chance to maybe land the frost because she's the bringer of frost. This could have been a freeze debuff. Why doesn't she bring the Frost, Plarium? Why doesn't she bring the Frost? It's right in her name. It's false advertising. It's double false advertising. Because there's no way that girl is that girl. That looks like a young Jodie Foster. Very cute. Very, very classic beauty. That looks like the Gone Baby Gone mom. The addict. Just saying. And not that it's not about what it is. If that's what that is, fine. Then put that on. Anyway, I probably just lost my 2 female viewers. I apologize. I don't know why I don't know. I don't know why I do what I do. Last one. And I get canceled. Last one, another barbarian, Woadpainted, who's painted the color Woad, I guess. Here's it's a big sword. Here it is. So this one actually, to me, looks pretty good. So base speed increased from 92 to 97. They actually did look at base stats. Holy crap. It's a miracle. Miracle. She's, okay, so the big thing here. Cross up. Damage will be based on HP alone instead of attack and HP. Good. Get rid of that attack. So I hate that. I hate it more when it's defense and attack, but I'm glad that they've got rid of that. Attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 25% chance of placing a block active skills. That doesn't change other than HP. Fine. That's actually fine. That skill as an A1 skill, that's perfectly reasonable. This one here is the big one though. Removes all debuffs from this champion and 1 random debuff from all allies. Does this mean we can use her in Demetha comps? I believe this means we can now use her in Demetha comps. As long as yeah, because she's going to be rotating. It's just going to be we can. So looking forward to them Woadpainted comps out there. By the way, the reflect damage won't do anything good in the Mythfu, but she's a different affinity than Eris. So it's a 4-turn cooldown. Is Eris a 3-turn? Did I just lie to you all? I think I did. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I'll look at that in a minute. But the big thing here, which has nothing to do with Clan Boss, unless you're doing an unkillable instead of a block damage comp, then heals this champion by 100% of their max HP and heals all allies equal to 50% of the surplus total. That's pretty big deal. Then afterwards places a 30% reflect damage buff on all allies for 2 turns, grants this champion an extra turn. I want to see this in an unkillable. Because reflect damage has long been a piss off to me. But if you can make this work where she's cleansing the A2, the clan boss's A2, she's cleansing the stun, if we can get that on proper rotation, 4-turn cooldown, I feel like that's the right cooldown. I'll double check it, but I feel like 4 turns is the right one. Because she just needs to go to 2 to 1. So she's always rotating back. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm sure we somehow could make that work. And the reflect damage. Plus she's healing everyone up, which means when the clan boss is doing those big 20-30k hit, reflecting that damage back on them. Reflect damage has always been a piss poor for me because you never get hit hard enough. But if you can use this in like level, turn 40 in some sort of man-eater or Sir Nick comp, I think maybe it'd be good. But that either way, that's a lot. So you can make her 100k health, right? Easy. 19k HP, you can easily get her to 100k health, which means if she's at full health, she's given 100% of that, 50%, so 50k. Now, is that 50k each ally, or is that 50k split among all 3? That is not clear. I suspect it's 50 each. If it's not, then it's kind of a meh, but very big. If it is that's a very game-changing spell. She is really good. She's a full support HP champion now. The change is really good, but she's got one more. This cooldown changes from 4 to 3. Oh, you know what? I don't like this because it's back to the 1-turn enemy block active skills. It doesn't work on the clan boss, so that wouldn't work for my little insane sidebar. But it's still already 100%. It's just down to a 3-turn cooldown, which again, not even a big fan anyway because it's off of this. Like, I like them when they're synergized, both at 4, both at 3. So, and they didn't change this one at all, did they? No, okay. So yeah, so hey, winners and losers. Let's talk about that. I think I like the change. I think that Woadpainted potentially is going to be a really good champion. Potentially, I think Frostbringer, her value goes up considerably with that 6% decreased defense without the need to land that heal reduction. Still wish they'd take that heal reduction off her A1 and place it with a 30% chance to freeze so that she can bring the frost. Calia, it all depends on what that damage increase is because she's still glass cannon. But potentially could be really good. And Necro Hunter is a little bit muted, but still good changes. I don't think that makes Necro Hunter a viable champion suddenly outside of Faction Wars, but I think Calia you might be able to use her in other areas or could be able to use her in other areas. Frostbringer definitely. That debuff so is good. And anyone who can heal as much as potentially that heal is going to be. That heal could potentially be game changing for Woadpainted. Woadpainted can be very good. So, what do I think of the changes? Overall, pretty good. My problem here, we have 300 epic champions, and they chose 4. I'm gonna do this in my next video. I did a top the most unsung epic hero of each. I think I did or something like that. I'm gonna do the worst epic in each faction in my next video, just to highlight what they missed. And I won't include these 4, of which Woadpainted would be on the list. I wouldn't actually call the other 3 aren't even the worst in their tier, in their faction. So anyway, those are my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts? Do you think the changes are there? Do you think maybe they should have done more? I think they need to do 10 epics and then do 10 Legos, then 10 epics, because that's how many champions they have. But you know, you wish in one hand and crap in the other. See which fills first. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Please be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.